Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. You know, as I'm out here cruising around in my slightly louder Toyota Tacoma, a lot of people comment about that. I do have an aftermarket dual exhaust. It's a Flowmaster on my Toyota Tacoma, as well as an open K&N cold air intake. So yeah, my truck is going to be louder. But that's not what we're here to talk about. You know, I've been thinking, because I recently installed a safe in the center console in my Toyota Tacoma. And as I got in the truck today, shortly thereafter installing it, I was thinking, you know, should I really leave this thing locked when there's nothing in it? Now, there's a reason I'm thinking this. You know, a while back, I'll tell you a quick little story, which also gets me to thinking about this. But a little while back, somebody tried to get in my Tacoma. I have cameras at the house, so it went off and I looked, and somebody tried to get in. Now, I don't know what their intentions were. They were on drugs or something, I think, because they broke into my neighbor's house and then went to sleep. Who would have known, right? But as I'm thinking about it, that would be one instance where I wouldn't want somebody to get in, wouldn't want to leave the truck unlocked. And that's kind of what I'm getting to. We're going to start with the truck itself. Should you really lock it up? Well, there's a couple instances where you should, and that is, obviously, if you have anything of value in it, or if you have a truck that you don't want to get stolen. You know, I got to think that given the large number of Tacomas out there, there are a ton of them stolen. I've had people on the channel tell me that they've had their truck stolen. I think somebody recently recovered theirs. Haven't heard what kind of shape it's in yet, but that's probably the biggest concern. You know, it depends on where you live, I suppose, and what the crime rate there is, and you know, what the real risk is of having the truck stolen. But otherwise, you know, the scenario for me is I lock the truck up. I really have nothing in it of any value, right? But I keep it locked up anyway. Now, let's say that somebody is going along, you know, these nighttime prowlers trying the doors, and maybe somebody a little more aggressive than that. If the door's locked, they're going to go ahead and break in anyway. And you never really had anything of value in the truck. So now you have broken windows, broken locks, who knows what. Maybe they took a crowbar and popped the lock. That'd be devastating to the truck and thousands of dollars in damage. But if they just could have opened the door, looked around, saw nothing, is it that big of a deal? Well, it's an invasion of privacy for sure. I mean, I'm not abdicating that. I don't want anybody to do that. But realistically, you might actually avoid damage to your truck if you just left it unlocked. Can't say that I'm willing to do that, but it is something to think about. Next up, these safes and things that you put in the truck. Back to what I was thinking this morning when I jumped in my truck, or a little while ago actually. I popped open the center console just to look at my most recent install. You know, us Tacoma guys, we kind of look at the things that we do because we take pride in them. So I popped it open, I looked at it, and it's locked. It's locked right now. There's nothing in it. I think there's a pair of plastic gloves or something, maybe a cable for connecting the phone to the radio directly, but nothing of any value or anything. So I'm thinking, you know, if somebody broke into my truck, let's say that I did have it locked and they busted into it anyway, and then opened the center console, which I would think any self-respecting thief would do. I mean, it's right there. Why wouldn't you open it? And I got to think a lot of people keep stuff in there. So they open that up and they see a safe lid. And they try that because that's what you would do, and it's locked. So now, you know, the overexcited burglar is going to think, well, gee, it's locked. There must be something of value in there. So now they're going to spend a little more time with it. They're going to maybe take that crowbar or screwdriver or cut into the side of your center console to access it that way. So they're going to do a lot of damage, in other words. They might even rip the whole center console out. Who knows? It's only held in by a couple of bolts, and, you know, I believe a human can pretty much do anything they want to, given the right motivation to do it. So let's say they have that crowbar that they use to break your window, and they pry that whole center console piece out, ripping everything else that goes with it, possibly damaging the seat, maybe your shifter area, the whole center console area. And then you had nothing in it, or nothing in it that you would want to lose, right? I mean, you already have a broken window or a pop lock, right? So if I'd have left it unlocked, or if I'd left it unlocked, they would have just opened the lid, and maybe they'd have taken that pair of plastic gloves, you know, the nitrile type gloves, the surgeon type gloves. Back during the big sickness, I carried those around when I got gas and stuff, you know. So maybe they would have taken a pair of those. Well, who cares? I mean, what are they worth? 10 cents? I don't know. Maybe they'd have lifted the wire that connects my phone to the radio. What's that? 10 bucks, 8 bucks, 5 bucks? I mean, who cares? I would much rather have that happen than have them rip my whole center console out because they have this grandiose idea that I'm carrying $1 million around in my truck, which I don't. I really don't carry anything of value in the truck. I mean, there's nothing in here, and I think that's a good rule to live by. You know, never leave anything in your truck, in your Tacoma, that you can't afford to lose. I mean, you know, we just need to use a little bit of common sense, I guess. If it's that important, you probably shouldn't be leaving it in your truck. Let's move over to the glove box. As I look over there, I see that beaming cylinder lock looking at me. You can lock the glove box. The same thing applies there. You know, if a thief breaks into your truck and tries the glove box, which I would think is probably the first or second thing other than the center console that they're going to try, and it's locked, they're going to rip it open. And it's not hard to open. That lock is kind of a fallacy, I think. If you think you're secure because you have that glove box locked, then you're not dealing with a real thief. So they're going to pop that thing open. Obviously, they're going to damage the mechanism, I'm sure. They're probably going to damage the glove box itself. It'll probably rip, tear, crack, who knows. And they're going to damage the surrounding trim. So now you have all this stuff damaged there, when if you'd have just left it open, granted, all of this is a bad thing. Not saying I condone any of this. But they're going to go ahead and rip it open and see if there's anything in there of value. Because I think, again, the first thing that a self-respecting thief thinks is if it's locked, they must be keeping something in there that they don't want to go away, something of value. Anyway, that's just a weird thing I was thinking about this morning. You know, you'll have to leave a comment. Let me know. Is it better just to leave your truck unlocked? And if a thief is going to get inside and take something, they're going to do it anyway. So why not minimize any damage that might happen if that does occur, and let them take whatever's in there if it's that important to them. Again, the key being, don't leave anything in your truck that you can't afford to lose or is important. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Mod Driven, all about the Honda Civic, and RobMotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.